Hello, everyone. Bruce Willis, the legendary Hollywood action star who for decades defined an entire era of blockbuster cinema with iconic roles in films like Die Hard, Pulp Fiction, The Fifth Element, and Armageddon, continues to face the most difficult battle of his life as reports swirl with heartbreaking claims that he has been left increasingly isolated and alone in his struggle with frontotemporal dementia, a degenerative brain condition that slowly robs a person of memory, language, and independence. And now rumours have emerged suggesting that his wife, Emma Hemming Willis, the woman who has stood faithfully by his side for nearly 15 years, has been forced by the weight of the disease and the strains of caregiving to live separately at times for her own mental health, sparking whispers that Bruce has been left to fade away with only limited companionship, while his once vibrant life of movie sets, interviews, and red carpets is replaced by quiet isolation, a reality that has left fans devastated. To truly understand why this is so heartbreaking, one must look back at the man Bruce Willis once was, an actor who went from a struggling bartender and off-Broadway hopeful to one of the most bankable stars of the late 1980s and 1990s, captivating audiences with his everyman charm, rugged charisma, and ability to balance humor with intensity, redefining what a Hollywood action hero could be. And for years he embodied strength, resilience, and indestructibility both on and off the screen, which is why his current state feels almost unbearable for those who watched him bring indomitable characters like John McClane to life. Yet, behind the glamorous images of his prime, Willis has endured a gradual decline that became public in 2022 when his family announced his diagnosis. And since then, updates have painted a picture of a man slipping further from reality, unable to communicate as he once did, with sources describing days where he recognizes loved ones and others where he drifts into silence. A condition that has stripped him of the very traits, wit, sharp timing, emotional nuance that made him a legend. And though his wife Emma and ex-wife Demi Moore initially appeared united in forming a strong family circle of support, raising awareness about his condition and rallying their children to spend as much time with him as possible, whispers have grown louder that the constant strain on Emma, the responsibility of managing their young children, and the unbearable emotional toll of watching her husband fade have left her seeking space, with some reports suggesting she has been spending stretches of time away from Bruce in order to cope, a revelation that has fueled speculation that Bruce has been left alone for long periods, relying heavily on caretakers rather than family for companionship. Critics argue that this paints a tragic picture of a once untouchable star now reduced to solitude, while defenders of Emma emphasize the impossibility of her situation, reminding the public that caregivers often face depression, burnout, and mental breakdowns, and that self-preservation is sometimes necessary to remain strong for loved ones. Still, for fans, the idea of Bruce Willis, who once stood tall against armies of villains, meteors, and even death itself in his cinematic legacy, spending his final years in quiet, lonely decline feels unbearably cruel. And as social media reacts, thousands have poured out tributes, old clips, and personal memories of the actor's work, trying to ensure his legacy is celebrated, even as his present reality grows more tragic. Hollywood, too, seems to be grappling with how to honor him, with former co-stars, directors, and fans alike calling for tributes and retrospectives to remind the world that Bruce Willis is more than his illness, that his contributions reshaped cinema and gave generations of moviegoers memories that will never fade, even if his own memory has. Yet the rumours of separation and isolation remain a cloud over the family's carefully built image of unity, and whether true or exaggerated, they highlight the brutal reality of dementia, that it not only ravages the patient, but often fractures the very family that surrounds them, leaving everyone involved emotionally broken. As the world watches, the tragedy of Bruce Willis becomes both deeply personal and universally relatable. a reminder of how even the strongest among us can be humbled by illness, how fame and fortune cannot protect anyone from the frailty of the human body, and how love, no matter how deep, is tested by the weight of caregiving. So while headlines proclaim that Bruce has been left alone to die, the deeper truth may be that he is caught in the complicated and painful web of a family trying desperately to balance survival with loyalty, a story that forces us all to confront uncomfortable questions about the legacy we leave behind, and as fans continue to hold on to hope that Bruce's final years will be filled with love rather than loneliness, the haunting reality remains that one of Hollywood's brightest lights now walks in shadow, leaving the world to pray that, despite rumours of separation, he is surrounded in his final days by the peace, dignity and love that his life's work so richly deserves. Thanks for watching.